What's up, y'all? Um, it's been a while since I did one of these videos of me just talking about basically I want to talk to you guys about budgeting in 2024. I know that rent and bills and everything is high, inflation, and you know I know a lot of times people are like, how do you afford to do collecting in this day and age? And I'm going to tell you my secret of how I do things. And it's because of a guy called Dave Ramsey. It's also because of my wife. There's just a lot of bills that come in, and you can afford to do collecting, and it may sound like hard, but it's really not. So we're gonna get into it, and I'll show you what I do and what I could do to afford certain things, and we're gonna go from there. So the first thing that I like to do is I'll go on like eBay, and basically what I do is so all right, let's start all over. A lot of these toys that I've had were from my childhood, so that's where I start. I start at toys I used to have, and yes, toys used to be like $5, $6, maybe $7. Remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You would go to Walmart or Kmart or whatever have you, and basically, you know, you would have like $5 or $6 and you could buy it. But now we all know that, being mint condition, a figure could go for anywhere from $600 to $700. So, how do you start getting back to the toys you used to have back in the childhood, but now you're spending more money? How do you do that? So, I'll give you for an instance, we got Galactus, right? So Galactus, this piece right here cost me what was it? It was about like $600, right? And now you could find it for sometimes you could find it cheaper. Maybe you can find it for like five, and sometimes you'll see it more expensive. Um, so what I like to do is, let's say that I have a piece like this, and yes, it's a big investment, and you know, um, what I'll do is, so when the bills come in, I like to look at how much my rent is every month, if you have a lease or if you have a mortgage. So, you have to allocate money for that. Okay. So basically, what I'll do is I'll have a savings account. And, if you're married or if you're have a joint account, this is something you sit down and talk to your wife about, or whoever you're living with, maybe your husband or whatever it is. And you would say, hey, listen, I want to start collecting. It's called budgeting. So I'm going to budget in, let's say that, I want to get some statues, right? So what I'll do is I'll start pricing. I'll start going to collectors markets. I'll start going to antique stores, or just a lot of places that do hobbies or something like that. And I do like pricing. It's like shopping around, basically what we used to do back in the day before we had eBay or Amazon. So that's another thing right there. So you have Amazon, you have eBay. And what I'll do is I'll look how much, let's say for the Storm statue, all right? This Iron Studios, right? So Iron Studios has their statues are pretty expensive. You can go from like 200 and up, right? So what I started doing when I started collecting is, I like the bigger statues, but the bigger statues means it's more product that they use, or material they use, or the material is more expensive because of the quality. So it's going to be more expensive. So what I'll do is, like the Diamond Select. Okay, so the Diamond Select may not be as expensive as the Iron Studios, but I like the size, and they don't have that bad detail, okay, so you look over here, you see the Iron Studios, and you see the detail is pretty cool. Like it's pretty good, but the statues itself is not as tall as a Diamond Select. I mean, you do have Iron Studios that make bigger statues, but now you're talking about bigger money. So how do you budget? Okay, so let's say that this one right here cost me about $300. For an Iron Studios Colossus or what's the other one? Not Iron Studios. They have another studio that like they have XM and I'm forgetting the other one. There's I always forget the other studio, but the other studio you're talking about 6 and up, and in these scales, the statue could be about maybe 2 feet, probably just as big as Galactus, and the statue comes with changeable head or an arm, and so that's more expensive. So and it also goes by a lot of the sculptors, they get paid for doing a certain thing. And I'm not saying that any sculptor is better than the other sculptor. It's just what contract that they have and what license they have. And there's tons of studios out there that does like Twitterhead. Twitterhead has this really nice Hordak statue, but it's about $1,200. And the detail is sick. But, so let's say I want to save up for that. So what I will do is, eBay, Amazon, it's not going anywhere. The prices may go up, the prices may go down. It's just like stock. So what I like to do is, okay, so I'll say to myself, okay, in about 3 months, I want to afford this, right? So I'll take $100 out of my check and I'll put it into savings. And let's say that you get paid every other week. Okay, you can still do that. You still take $100 and put it away. You might take more than 3 months to get. But, maybe you're watching my channel and you're like, yeah, but you're getting toys like every week, or you're getting collectibles like basically like every every single week, like how can you afford this and do that? Well, the even if you're living on your own and you don't have somebody, okay, you could still do what I'm doing. Each one of these figures is about 30 and under, okay? And, some of the figures do go for about 50, like the War Machine and where's the Prisma? Okay, and the Plasma, because that was like one of the very first ones, okay? But that's what I'm saying. You can afford to buy one of these as a filler. Okay, let's say that, you take 100, you put it away, and let's say that you want to get at least something for the week. So you spend yourself like a $20 or $30. And then you take the rest of the money and you're putting it either in savings or 401k for your retirement, or, for your bills. Okay. And that's where all these other filler toys come in. You got the really good collecting that's happening right here, something that you've always wanted, something you never really had when you were a child. Like, I never had any of these statues when I was a child, but what I did have was these right here. Okay, and they're not that expensive. Like you would think it'd be more expensive, but it's not. The same thing with like collecting Yu-Gi-Oh, right? We'll go over here, some of this stuff, like now you're talking about getting stuff that's out of print. They're not making these anymore, right? So now you want to get first editions. They have a limited. If you get unlimited, it's not as expensive. Like let me see which one of these. This one. Okay, so this one right here, that's unlimited. That was about maybe $30, right? If you want to get the first edition of that one, you're talking about what is it, about like $45-50. So you're saving money getting unlimited. Now you can still get first, but you would put away for it. So everything that I'm telling you about can be done by budgeting. And I know that, you're like, oh, but how are we, it's just crazy how stuff like this can add up and accumulate really fast. And it's all about budgeting. And Dave Ramsey says it's a snowball effect, And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to discuss a few things with you about, in 2024, you can collect. All right. And, childhood doesn't have to be on hold. And you're like, oh, I wish I can get that. I wish I could do this. And a lot of times you could find good deals. And, like I said to you, if you're a fan of the show, then you've already seen that, you could go, if you build a relationship with certain collecting shops that have their own business and whatnot, and you go in, you're a regular, a lot of times they can work with you if you pay in cash. You're like, they won't charge you taxes. And believe me, that adds up. Or they might shave off about $5 or $10, depending if you can haggle down the prices and be like, hey, listen, I really want this, but I don't think it's worth blah, 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 blah. Can you do 15? Can you do $10? Or can you do $20, depending on how much it is? And they can say yes or no. So it's not like, it's a do or die thing. It's either a yes or no answer. So if it's a low ball, offer, I'm pretty sure they're not going to go for it. But in my opinion, the best thing that you can do is basically, just shop around. Don't be afraid to ask for certain discounts. Just pretend it's like, a coupon. Just think you got a coupon in your pocket, say like $5 or $10 off. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it all adds up at the end. At the end of the week, at the end of the month, whatever it is. So to make a long story short, that's how I start to collect. And I know that it may sound pretty hard, but it's not. So basically, that's how I do my collecting. Budgeting. I have a great wife who supports me emotionally, meaning like not support financially, because we both are doing the bills together, and that's how it should be. But what I'm saying about supporting is my collection, like she supports me by saying, hey, listen, you're a full-grown man. Why do you collect? Well, I'm a full-grown man, but this is my childhood. Except for the statues. I never had the statues, but the characters, I've had that. So that's basically in a nutshell what I wanted to talk to you about. I feel bad for when people spend their whole paychecks on lottery tickets. And yes, you can hit to get a lot of money, but when you're spending money on lottery tickets and stuff, chances are, 9 out of 10 times you're not really buying a winning ticket. And before you know it, you're in the hole. The reason I keep my toys in the plastic is because eventually when I'm too old, I would like to sell it. And, I'm too old to be playing with the action figures. And I'm saying that's just me personally. I'm not talking about anybody else who's, wants to open them up, wants to play them, wants to display them. That's fine. Like the Galactic, of course, I open it up and you could display it. The bigger pieces, of course, I would display it. The statues, of course, I want to display them. But if they're action figures, like the ones like the Iron Man, I'm not going to take them out of the box. Or the Marvel Legends, there's no way that I'm taking this out of the box because, you're opening it up, you're compromising the item. So statues are meant to be displayed, and 9 out of 10 times, if you're going to go sell it, maybe you'll eat about $5. Like you'll say, all right, I'll knock $5 off because I opened the box, or $10, whatever your guys are going to do, but not a significant enough where it's going to be like you're losing money. A lot of times, collectors are going to look at the condition of the box. They're going to look at the condition of your statues to make sure that there's no chipping of the paint. But a lot of times with that too is, if you got a really good collector, they're going to know that sometimes those statues are coming from the factory. Sometimes you'll get a defect, and I'll show you right now one of my defects that I got from the factory. And it actually really upsets me, but what am I going to do? That's how it came. And it's like, if I bought it directly from the factory, then it's one thing. But I bought it from an eBay seller, so it's like a pre-owned, but it was new. But You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you get into a gray area where it's like, no, 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 this, I didn't do that. And then it's like, going back and forth. So it's kind of like sometimes you can luck out, sometimes you don't, about maybe sending it back and getting your money back and getting a new thing. But, I'll show you one of these. So right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. You see that right there? See, okay. You see how you can see the wire and the paint chipped? So, yeah. That came from the factory. This is brand new. But I bought it off of eBay, and it was from a comic book store. And the problem was when I did check to call the company, because I did buy it from, I'm not the original buyer. So I got it from a third party, as they say. So they really couldn't help you with that. So, I mean, like this one right here was about $200. So, I mean, like, it's not bad. I mean, if I want to invest another $200, maybe I'll go and get a new one, depending on what it is. But that's something you will have to tell whoever buys this that, hey, listen, this is what it was, but it came from the factory like that. It's just stuff like that. You're always taking, and so I understand when people say, oh, but, you're talking about lottery tickets, you're talking about stock, buying cigarettes or something like that, you can't get your money back. But it just goes by preference. If you enjoy doing it, do it. Do it. But, with toys, it's an investment. I'm always going to have my toys that I could always get it. I can always, if not break even, or make a profit. I'll never lose money. Depending on how desperate you are, maybe you'll lose money if you try to sell it by taking your collection to a antique store or a collector's market, and you have them do it. So it's just like an auction house. There's a fee. There's a, So I mean, you want to get the most for your money, right? Yeah. Basically you're gonna have to sell it on your own. That's how you make your money back. But a lot of times you have to sit on it. That's why you go to a collector's market, or you go to a person who has the customer base that goes in and out. You don't have that. All you could do is eBay, or put it on, what's that, Marcy? Just another site that's like eBay. Just shop around. But the thing I'm trying to tell you is, budgeting is very important. There's this guy I'm 41 years old. So of course I have to put money away for my 401k. I have to put money away for my retirement. My wife is in school. So as soon as we get out of there, we have money put away for our own house. So yes, we are renting right now. It was almost like $2,400 a month or something ridiculous like that. She just tells me, hey, listen, this is the number I need every paycheck for my half or more now, because she's not working as much as she was, but that's because she has school. So you don't want her to get burned out. Anyway, let's get back to what I'm saying. Budgeting is very important, and you can absolutely collect in 2024. Might take you more time, but with budgeting, and depending on how much it is, maybe you can get a second job. I was even thinking about getting a second job just so I would have money just to do what I'm doing for my hobby. It hasn't got to that point yet, but who knows? But it just goes to see how important the thing is that you really want to do. So anyway, that's a few things I want to tell you about. Please check out Dave Ramsey. This guy he was a multi-millionaire. He did real estate, and then he went completely broke. And you know what? He became a millionaire once again. He became two times he became a millionaire. And you could check him out. He has his own YouTube channel, and he helps like a lot of people out with budgeting and retirement, and he wants everybody to be a millionaire. And it's not so much the liquid assets you have in your bank, it's everything involved. So let's say that you have a $300,000-$400,000 house on top of whatever stocks or bonds or whatever it is, and you add it all up. Most of the time, by the end of our life, you would never think about how much money we accumulate over our lifetime. So anybody can become a millionaire. It actually sounds hard, but it's really not. once you see, like, let's say that you have a debt and you have credit cards and whatnot, he has something called a snowball effect. What it does is you start from um, smallest to largest, and the reason why is because you feel like you accomplish something when you get rid of one of your debts, right? And the other thing is, Dave Ramsey has steps. He has a book out. He has other people that are working with him, because it's his company. And I mean, I can't tell you enough about good stuff about Dave Ramsey. I mean, if you're a fan of collecting and a fan of putting money away for your retirement, because we're not going to be young forever, this is a thing to do it. So in 2024, this is how I collect for my toys. The other thing that I do want to say to you is that everything in this room has never been put on a credit card. Never been out of a credit card. This has all been paid out of our pocket, me and my wife, since our money are together, because there is no I in team. There is me, but there's no I. So you want a successful marriage, that's when you guys got to sit down and talk about this stuff. But none of this stuff has ever been put on a credit card. Ever. So everything, oh yeah, this is a spare room. Everybody who sleeps over, they already know. They're like, oh, fuck it, I got to sleep in the fucking toy museum. So it's pretty funny. Like, everybody has an ongoing gag about that. But the point what I'm trying to make is never put yourself in debt over collecting toys. You just put money away in your savings and you pay for everything out of pocket. Like I said, Dave Ramsey, that guy is crazy. So, I always take it from somebody who has money. You take it from somebody who used to be a millionaire, then he lost it, then he became a millionaire. I mean, like, there's no better person to really follow, because he did it twice in a lifetime. And if he can go from broke to a millionaire and then broke again back to a millionaire, anybody can do it, honestly. And he shows you in his book, and he's not a rocket scientist. He always says he's not a rocket scientist. You just need to be able to be smart. You need to have an financial advisor. And like I said, this is not to promote Dave Ramsey in any way for a sponsoring ship or anything like that. But I just want to tell you what I use to do my toy collection. And this guy is completely insane. And never put yourself in debt for no toys.